Good morning and welcome into a Wednesday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. We are in commercial on radio, coming out very, very quickly. Can't wait to talk about the big Columbus City Schools meeting last night about closing buildings in the district. And we have a board member who is going outside the board to air his own thoughts on buildings. I serve on my local school board, so I'll have some thoughts on that. Also, why it is difficult to argue with liberals and Democrats. And more student loan forgiveness from Joe Biden. I hear the music playing. We are coming at you live right now. I got to admit, I, like many of you, have a guilty pleasure. I don't know what your guilty pleasure is. One of my guilty pleasures, which I don't think will ever get me found guilty, is that when I'm watching TV and there's a nature show on and two carnivores are going at it, like two male lions fighting to lead the pride, or a couple of crocodiles like fighting over a female crocodile, I'm drawn to it. I'm drawn to those blood battles. Just the sheer force, the animalistic nature of conquering each other and establishing superiority. I am drawn to it. So, I will, of course, be captivated by what happened last night at a Columbus City School Board meeting on the South Side, where we have the same dynamic in play. A board member, a young one, Brandon Simmons, he's 23 years old, recently elected to the Columbus City School Board, has gone rogue, kind of, sort of. And I guess I'm rooting for him in this fight. Now, why am I rooting for him? Not so much because I know his motives, not because I know him personally, but because, like a lot of times when you turn a game on TV, and two teams playing, neither one is your favorite team, the Ohio State Buckeyes, just two teams. And what do? You root for the team you like the most, or do you root against the team you dislike the most? I tend to root against the team I dislike the most. And so I'm rooting for Brandon Simmons here, not because I know Brandon Simmons, but because I know the teams that he's playing against, and I don't like those teams. He's playing against the teachers union, and he's playing against other members of the Board of Education, and I find it humorous and, yes, hard to take my eyes off of. So what happened last night? Well, you know that the Columbus Board of Education has a plan in place. 9 of them, they haven't picked one, but they have a general overall plan in place to close school buildings in the district because they have too many buildings and too few students. And the reason they have too many buildings and too few students is because they've lost more than 50% of their enrollment over the last 50 years. Why have they done that? Because their quality of education has gone down and people have fled Columbus City schools to find better schools. And they're still doing that. That's why charter schools in the district are flourishing. That's why private schools in the district are flourishing. That's why suburban schools are growing like crazy. Now, Brandon Simmons went to the Columbus Alternative High School, and he got elected to the Columbus Board of Education because he had union backing, teacher backing. Now, he does not have that anymore. And the reason he does not have that anymore is because Mr. Simmons, as a board member, is certainly fine to do, created a plan for the entire board to win the narrative when it came to, hey, we're going to close this building, we're going to close this building, this is what we're going to do. And he entitled his little memo, 6 pages of it, Taking Control of the Task Force Narrative. So he didn't come up with the plan to close schools. He came up with a plan to convince voters that this was the way the Board of Education should go. Now, the board is really mad at Brandon Simmons, and the teachers union is really mad at Brandon Simmons because his document got leaked. But as near as I can tell, Brandon Simmons is not the guy who leaked it. The people who leaked it are other members of the board. So why are they so mad at him? Well, because his memo said that, among other things, the Columbus School Employees Association and the Columbus Education Association are two entities here that have some competing interests. And the document from Brandon Simmons said that one of the strategies they should have to sell the public on closing these schools is to drive a wedge between like the janitors and the cooks and the custodians and the teachers unions. And that the Columbus Board of Education should put off sharing bad news with the public if there's other good news to share. He also said that they should reward good media outlets with priority interviews and priority seating at meetings. Do these not seem like long-time endorsed and engaged in activities of the Democratic Party? Like, right? Like, do you ever see Joe Biden on Fox? No, you don't. Why don't you see Joe Biden on Fox? Why do you see him on MSNBC? Because MSNBC is friendly to Joe Biden. Well, this is essentially the strategy that Brandon Simmons outlined, and he is getting a lot of heat for it. And I find it funny that he's not the guy who leaked the document, but that the other members of the board, Jennifer Adair notably among them, who used to be the president of the board but is no longer the president of the board, they didn't like his document, and they didn't like him being proactive in trying to come up with a plan to sell their strategy. And so they now are demanding he resign. The union is demanding he resign. Again, I'm saying I'm rooting for the carnivore who is opposed by the carnivores I don't like. And I don't really care for the Columbus Board of Education because it does a really bad job educating students in the district, doesn't prioritize educating students in the district. It goes on trips, lavish trips, spends a lot of the district money. And because, oh, wait a second, isn't the strategy that Brandon Simmons outlined, keeping secrets, playing favorites, isn't that exactly what the Board of Education did when they convinced the public to vote for a $100 million levy in November without telling them they had plans to close buildings in the district? Yes, it is exactly the same thing that the union did, not the union did, but the board did as a whole. So Brandon Simmons has gone full rogue here. He's, as they say in WWE wrestling, done a heel turn. I think he might have a lot of things still in common with other members of the board, but they don't like that he got out front. Now, let me just give you my perspective because I serve on my local school board, and at no point in time would I ever do what Brandon Simmons did, which is go outside the Board of Education without talking to them and without telling them what I'm going to do. But I don't know that he's the only one who's responsible for this document leaking. In fact, as I said before, other members of the board got mad that he prepared this document, and so they released it to make him look bad. They're doing to him what they did to James Ragland. When James Ragland was on the board, like Brandon Simmons, a black man, a Democrat, and James Ragland said, you know, school choice, not such a bad thing. It might force us to be more competitive. That's my view of school choice. Fortunately, I work in a district where we have phenomenal schools, phenomenal leadership, phenomenal teachers, phenomenal education and test scores and all that. And I've said before, you want to open a private school in my district? Good luck, because we have great community support for our schools. We have great schools. We deliver student outcomes. But in Columbus, they're not delivering student outcomes. So why shouldn't people look elsewhere, and why shouldn't people demand more? That's kind of Brandon Simmons' view of this. And it's also the view of an Ohio State professor who came to the meeting last night. He's a political science professor. His name is Vlad Kogan. I hope Vlad is ready for the storm that is coming his way, because he got up last night. He had a large printed graph and a visual aid to show the board that Columbus City Schools has, get this, 30 more schools than nearly similar sized districts. And wait, it's going to get worse. Its teaching staff has grown as enrollment has continued to decline. Why would that be? That would be because the union likes having people pay union dues. And in order to have more union dues coming in, you need more what? Union members. So they got more teachers, fewer students, and oh, by the way, to complete the picture, the education of your students has gotten worse over the years. Reading proficiency, math proficiency, under 20% in the 3rd grade. What's the promotion rate to the 4th grade? It's over 95%. So they're passing kids along who don't know how to read, who can't perform at math proficiency levels, according to the state of Ohio. And this is why parents are mad. Mr. Kogan went on and he urged the Board of Education not to allow the teachers union to intentionally interrupt the discussions about closing schools, because he says the union will prioritize protecting teacher employment numbers in the district. Sounds to me like Vlad Kogan's a pretty smart guy. He's also a clever guy, because he said it feels a little bit like an arsonist complaining that not enough is being done to put out the fire that the arsonist started. Yes, that is exactly what it is like, Vlad Kogan. So, dysfunction on parade last night at the meeting. The fight's not over. The 2 crocodiles are still going at it. Brandon Simmons is all alone. Hopefully, he'll be able to stave off the lion pride coming after it.
This afternoon, not as warm, shower and a heavy thunderstorm. That could bring some flash flooding and damaging wind behind 81. A strong thunderstorm around this evening, otherwise cloudy.
Crazy public cat fight in Columbus City schools. Wow.
Partly sunny Friday, a thunderstorm in the afternoon, high at 81. Partly sunny, looks like a very nice day on Saturday. High Saturday afternoon, 81. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Attention business owners, medical practice owners, and taxpayers with not-so-simple tax returns. If you're not getting timely and useful financial advice throughout the year from your accountant, why not? I'm CPA Brad Hennebert from Premier Tax CPAs, and the true value of using a CPA is getting guidance throughout the year, not just at tax time. During the year, we can actively advise you on your financial, tax planning, and other major business needs, just like an outside CFO. Too often, when you see your accountant only at tax time, we're really only keeping score of what you did last year. At Premier Tax CPAs, we like to have monthly consultations with our business clients, because important financial information is only useful if it's timely. See us before April 15th and get a free copy of my latest book, The Ohio Business Owner's Tax Survival Guide. At Premier Tax CPAs, we're a firm that can work with you and your business throughout the year to help you make decisions before it's too late. Give us a call at 614-524-4888. That's 614-524-4888.
One service is in tune with your needs. It's time to get the kitchen of your dreams. Update, upgrade, uplift with Kitchen Tune-Up. Do your cabinets need an update? Have you always wanted a new modern door style? Or maybe you just want to start from scratch and redo everything. Kitchen Tune-Up makes the process enjoyable and hassle-free. Stop in. Let's make a plan. We'll bring your vision to life. 0% financing is available right off Middleton Bridge Road in Worthington. Go to kitchentune-up.com for a free in-home estimate. Update, upgrade, uplift with Kitchen Tune-Up.
Hi, I'm Charlie Moon. I've been in the trading game for almost 20 years, and I just discovered the most powerful trading tool I've ever seen. So if you're trading stocks or options, then listen up. This new AI-powered trade finder can find you stocks to consider trading, which have had gains as high as 1,729% and have had nearly perfect win rates. It analyzes the entire stock market in seconds and pumps out a list of trades for you to consider every single morning. And the trade defines can be potentially profitable regardless of which direction the market is moving. So if you want in on this action, listen closely. For a short amount of time, I'm opening up free access to some of these picks and giving you the chance to get top trade ideas from the AI Trade Finder every day for 100% free. Just text trade to 76626. Stop trying to find the right stocks to trade on your own. Just text trade to 76626 now and get access to the top trades our AI finds every single day. Text trade to 76626. Standard text and data rates may apply. Past performance is not indicative of future results.
The Caribbean is calling. Dennis Prager here. I invite you to join me on a Bible cruise this November in the Caribbean. Imagine 9 days of basking in the sun surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. We'll cruise to the vibrant islands of Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Bonaire, and more while making unforgettable memories with like-minded travelers. Stroll through Curaçao's iconic pastel-colored shops and snorkel in Bonaire's world-class coral reefs. You'll enjoy some of the most delicious cuisine aboard Holland America's Rotterdam, a fantastic destination itself with riveting shows and spectacular views. This experience is more than a vacation. It's a chance to participate in profound discussions. Fresh insights I will share with you about books in the Bible and current events should energize and challenge you. Mark your calendars, November 29th to December 8th, 2024. Learn more and secure your spot on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure by calling 855-565-5519 or booking online at PragerBibleCruise.com.
Well, I hope you slept well last night. You'll have maybe some raindrops on the rooftops tonight to help you sleep a little bit better. I enjoy that patter, but I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy my MyPillow. And you'll really enjoy your MyPillow because you'll be able to get it for about a third of what I paid for mine. Yes, full price, $75 about 8 years ago. Still feel like I got a great deal because the pillow delivered on its promises. That's what we expect of a retail product, is it not? Wash, dry, never go flat, holds its shape, hypoallergenic. All true? Yes, all true. I can testify to that. The MyPillow has allowed me to sleep through the night without neck pain when I wake up in the morning. So you can get that exact same pillow, king size, queen size, no matter what fill level you prefer, for $25. And you can find other great deals at mypillow.com during their $25 extravaganza. Towel sets, slippers, slides. Check out all the different availabilities to you, because if you order 3 products and your order totals $75 or more, you get free shipping. All well worth a look at mypillow.com. Just make sure you always use my promo code Bruce. Now, I was surprised yesterday that the leader of the Columbus Dispatch editorial page, Amelia Robinson, who has self-identified as an angry bobcat in the past, and so that's what we call her here on the Bruce Hooley Show, the angry bobcat, Amelia Robinson. She is a Ohio University journalism grad, which, you know, I talked to my friends in Cleveland who I used to work with who went to Ohio University to call into question the veracity of the quality of an OU journalism degree if Amelia Robinson was able to get one. She has finally weighed in on the opinion pages of the Columbus Dispatch about the New York Times story that used Columbus, Ohio, Mayor Andrew Ginther's Columbus, Ohio, where safety is his top priority as the thrice elected mayor of the city. She has finally decided to weigh in to shine the shoes of Mayor Ginther, her Democratic colleague, to tell us that, yes, while a shocking percentage of people in the city of Columbus, 41% of its residents, live within a 5-minute walk of a fatal shooting over the past 3 years, a number that has skyrocketed from just over 0.25% of the population when Donald Trump left office. Amelia Robinson says it's all the fault of Republicans. Wait, didn't you just say Andrew Ginther was the thrice elected mayor of the city of Columbus? And haven't you told me before, Bruce, that Columbus City Council is populated entirely by Democrats? Yes and yes. And didn't you tell me that the law director in the city of Columbus is a Democrat, Zach Klein? Yes. And that the prosecutor in Franklin County, Gary Tyack, is a Democrat? Yes. And that judges in Franklin County have been known to switch their political affiliation once elected as Republicans. When they come back up for re-election, they switch to Democrat because they know they have no chance of being reelected if they have the scarlet letter on their ballot next to their name. That scarlet letter being, of course, R for Republican. Yes, I have told you all that, and all of it is true. But the angry bobcat says that this is Jim Jordan's fault. Wait, Jim Jordan, the Republican congressman from Urbana, like 60 miles, 70 miles from Columbus, it's Jim Jordan's fault? Yes, according to the angry bobcat, who points out Jim Jordan, excuse me, a while back, calling out Alvin Bragg in New York City for his failure to keep New York City as safe as it was when he became the district attorney in Manhattan. Now, I heard some interesting numbers the other day from Andy McCarthy of the National Review about Alvin Bragg's failed stewardship of the citizens' safety in New York, and it's pretty much the exact same scenario here in Columbus during the 3 terms of Andrew Ginther. McCarthy said that since Bragg became the DA in New York City in the past year, so he's up and running, he's got his people in place, everything's rolling away out, and Bragg wants it to roll. In 2023 in New York City, how many people do you think were arrested and charged with a felony, a violent felony? Over 74,000, okay? Seems about right. It's a big city, a lot of people, a lot of mayhem, a lot of crime. 74,000 were charged. How many were convicted of a felony in New York City? Got your number? I pretty much guarantee you it's wrong, because the number is 4,000. 4,000? Now, how can that be? Like, are there some like super good defense attorneys or public defenders in New York City? No. You can't get convicted of a felony if you're not charged with the felony. And Bragg just dismisses out of hand most of the felony charges, just like Gary Tyack and Zach Klein do here in the city of Columbus. You watch. The protesters on the South Oval, at some point in time, probably a Friday at 4 o'clock, the classic Friday news dump, Zach Klein will announce that none of the protesters at Ohio State will be charged with anything. We don't hold people accountable for crime here in the city of Columbus, so let's just test you to see if you've been listening. What principle holds as to why we get more crime when we don't charge the crime that we have? That's right, the principle of sowing and reaping. You get what you sow later than you sow it, more than you sow. So if you get crime, you have charges, and you don't prosecute it, you'll get more of it later. And you do, and you have, and you are here in Columbus. But the angry Bobcat says Jordan and other Republicans are to blame because they haven't made the gun laws in Ohio tough enough. She says Governor Mike DeWine signed the state's Stand Your Ground law in 2021, a bill dropping training hours a teacher needs to be armed in school. Now stipulates that a teacher need only 24 hours of training compared to 728 before that. Well, I have a question, and maybe I can appeal to Amelia's outsized ego and intellect, and she'll follow this because she's super pro-abortion, right? She would never say anything against abortion. She'd be fine with abortion all the way up to point of birth, because that's true freedom for women. That's true bodily autonomy for women, right? So let me try to figure this gun thing out with abortion as a comparable. We are told all the time, are we not? We are told all the time that if there becomes a federal law against abortions after 6 weeks, what will happen? Will abortions cease after 6 weeks? No. We're told by Democrats all the time that if we make a federal law against abortions after 6 weeks, what? Illegal abortions will proliferate across the land. The knitting needles will come back out and people will die in alleys getting abortions, right? So outlawing abortion will not end abortion, according to Democrats. So if that's true, how will making more gun laws stop gun crimes? You see what I'm asking? Like, if we make a law against abortion and they tell us, well, that's not going to do any good. All you're going to do is get more abortions, unsafe, terrible, awful abortions. Well, why wouldn't we also, if we outlaw guns to law-abiding citizens, once the criminals know, hey, the guys in the suburbs, they're not allowed to have guns anymore. Why wouldn't we get more crime? I need Amelia, the angry Bobcat, to point out the incongruity in those two scenarios.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. The arrival of a suspicious package caused this morning's brief lockdown of Republican National Committee headquarters on Capitol Hill. U.S. Capitol Police say the package contained 2 vials of blood. No one was hurt. The RNC office has since reopened. Someone familiar with the situation tells me.
All right, let's get into some
former President Trump.
Megyn Kelly, Bill Maher.
Voters have decided who will serve the remainder of former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's term. State Assembly member Vince Fong is a McCarthy protege who would also have the former Speaker's endorsement, as well as that of former President Trump. Former President's lawyers trying again to have the Florida classified documents case dismissed. The Trump legal team argues the indictment fails to clearly articulate a crime. On Wall Street, the Dow is down 51 points, the NASDAQ 19 points higher. For details, srnnews.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way out. We've helped over 30,000 families out of financial hardship by getting them out of bad timeshares. If your timeshare agreement goes on forever, if you were told timeshares are a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, you have questions, we have the answers. At Wesley Financial Group, we're dedicated to helping timeshare owners get out of their financial nightmare. All you need to do is give my office a call. I will send you a timeshare exit information kit absolutely free, explaining how the timeshare industry works and your options for cancellation.
Call now for your free timeshare exit information kit. 800-256-5533. That's 800-256-5533. 800-256-5533.
We are the entertainment you love and information that shapes your day. We are your lifeline. We are your companion. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters. Car payments, credit card payments, home loans. Man, that's a lot of debt for you to carry. Let us help you get caught up when you enter the $18,000 Get Caught Up sweepstakes. The grand prize winner gets up to $10,000 in debt relief. 3 first prize winners will get up to $1,000 in debt relief, and 10 second prize winners will get $500 in debt relief. That's $18,000 total, and that could be you.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Megyn Kelly, Bill Maher, yesterday podcast. This is good, and this is indicative of why it is difficult to win an argument with a liberal, because they are not aware of simple facts that we're all aware of on the right. I mean, we're just like, this is craziness to me that somebody who's as learned and articulate and eloquent and clever as Bill Maher does not know these basic facts, that the average housewife who I sell carpet to knows them, and he doesn't know them. And that's dangerous, because the average housewife I sell carpet to isn't an influencer who can impact myriad people in how they vote. Bill Maher can and does. So, yikes. But we'll have that audio for you here in the segment coming up.
Learn more about part-time service with the Ohio Army National Guard at nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
News, opinion, passion. Here, 98.9 FM, The Answer, anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers, TuneIn, or iHeart.
Well, today's the day. I'm going in. My free consultation, QC Kinetics. Are you jealous? You don't have to be. You can get your free consultation too. You can meet with the doctors. You can find out what advanced regenerative medicine can do for you. I had a nice lady email me yesterday. She wanted to know more about QC Kinetics. I'm happy to tell you, but tomorrow I'll be able to give you my personal experience from having gone in and having asked questions about how does this work. I think I know how it works. Years and years ago, I heard Tiger Woods, he had knee injuries. He went to Europe and he had his blood taken out, and then they said he underwent a procedure called blood spinning. I want to ask today, is that the same thing that you do here? Because now it's available to the masses and you don't have to be tethered to medicine or endless doctor's appointments. You go in, I know they remove the platelets. Well, they remove the blood, remove some blood, and then they take the platelets out of the blood. Do they spin it? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. I do know they re-inject it at some point after your body has made more. And the results to heal your arthritis, your joint pain is phenomenal. So check out QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544, 380-208-4544, 380-208-4544. And if you can get in today, you might see me there. So big presidential election coming up, future of the country at stake, all the things you already know. What you may not know, and what I really didn't have a full picture of until yesterday, is why can't we make reasonable arguments to what appear to be normal, everyday, reasonably intelligent people and have them see that Donald Trump offers them a better option as president, better policies as president than Joe Biden. I just didn't understand how, like, friends of mine are like, I just can't vote for him. I can't vote for him. So I came to the realization of why this is, why we can't reason with people yesterday. Because in order to reason with someone, you have to agree on a basic set of facts. And then from the agreement on the basic set of facts, you can reason out what comes next, or what is the logical outgrowth of those facts you have agreed to. Listening yesterday to Megyn Kelly interview Bill Maher. Bill Maher, Real Talk with Bill Maher, super liberal guy, but he's not afraid to call out the left on things. Megyn Kelly, former Fox News, now doing her own, crushing it on her own podcast. I like her show because she has people on she disagrees with, and she has conversations that are enlightening, because I don't want to just exist in my silo. But I discovered yesterday that a skilled interviewer like Megyn Kelly was able to draw out of Bill Maher just how much he lives in his Democratic silo. I sell, as you guys know, I sell flooring. And oftentimes I'm out on an appointment talking to a housewife or to a nice couple. And they know what I do in my other time off on the radio, and we talk about politics. And I am always struck, whether it's in those conversations or in my conversations where we're conferring about, them becoming a patriotswitch.com member or them buying Riverbend Ranch steaks, I'm always struck by how politically smart they are, how they have a knowledge of and a grasp for the facts of things that have gone on surrounding the 2020 election, surrounding the J6 riot, surrounding things like that. And I was under the impression until yesterday that while there are people on the Republican side of the aisle who are just rampant partisans and they won't listen to anything other than Trump, 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 and there are rampant partisans on the left side of the aisle of Democrats who are like, orange man bad, dictator, fascist. I like to think that about 75% of the country exists in there where, let's talk about this. We agree on this. You know this. I know this. Okay, what does all that mean? But I'm wrong, because 75% of the country is not there. Because you know why I know that? Bill Maher's not there. Bill Maher is a guy who has a staff, a lot of people who can prep him. I assume he's engaged, watching news coverage, trying to balance out his worldview. Nope. Nope. And we have no hope of the people who listen to Bill Maher having that awareness if he doesn't have it, and he doesn't. And I'm going to play you the first kind of enlightening part of the conversation with Megyn Kelly. It's a minute and a half. Bill Maher gives you his absolute intractable, won't listen to anything else reason why he can never vote for Donald Trump. And he's incredulous that Megyn Kelly can, and here says she will.
We have a lot of overlap, but you're definitely still going to vote Democrat, and I'm definitely going to vote Republican. But there's enough commonality to make us shake our heads yes when the other one speaks a lot.
So you're going to vote for Trump?
I am going to vote for Trump, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even understand that. And I understand that Biden is deeply flawed, but he does believe in our way of life. And, I was the one who was saying from the very beginning, when everyone was laughing at me, that Donald Trump will never give up power. And he didn't. He still hasn't conceded the last election. I don't know what could possibly be more fundamental to you or anyone than you have to concede elections. And he hasn't conceded the last one. He's plainly not going to concede this one. He now has all of his sycophants around him parroting his party line, which is when they ask them, will you abide by the election results? Yes, if it's a free and fair election, which is another way of saying if we win. Do you really think this is a place this country should be?
Mm-hmm. I'm not going to defend the election denialism. I'm not one of those people who believes that.
What's more important? What kind of country do we have?
How about my daughter not going into a locker room and seeing a man's penis?
That's important too. And I bring,
Very.
I mean,
How about young men on college campuses getting due process when they get accused falsely of rape?
Well, I think that's a false equivalency. I think these.
What do you mean?
I think these things are important, but you can handle these things through the normal due process of our system. But if we lose the system itself, come on.
But we didn't.
We didn't so far.
He tried it. It failed.
Right. And now he's had 4 years to put in place people who will make it work again.
Okay, so Bill Maher is really, really scared about Trump regaining power and not leaving the White House. Even though, as Megyn Kelly said right there, he tried it before, if in fact you agree that he tried it before, and it didn't work. And then she brings up the fact that, oh, you're worried about Trump and he won't recognize an election. Gee, that's been done before by somebody on your side. Pay very close attention to how ill-informed Bill Maher is on this. And they've dubbed in the facts and the voice of the person who did it.
Hillary Clinton, of course, is the original election denier. I'm sure you voted for her in 2016.
Well, she's not an election denier.
She absolutely was the OG election denier.
She, first of all, she came out before the sun had risen to concede the election to Trump.
And then spent the next 4 years saying he was illegitimate. He was an illegitimate president.
Okay, well, first of all, she didn't say he was an illegitimate.
Yes, she did.
You tell me exactly what she said.
She said those exact words repeatedly.
I believe he knows he's an illegitimate president.
Okay, I mean, she conceded the election. Whether you're interpreting her disappointment at losing it as the same thing as Trump not conceding it, I don't know if that's where you're getting it from. But again, it's a tremendous false equivalency. You could ask Hillary Clinton right now who won that election. She will tell you. Donald Trump won the election.
Now she knows she has to because of what Trump has done.
She came out that night
in her
dark purple suit and conceded the election.
Correct. And then spent the next 4 years trying to convince us it was not legitimate.
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
Now, is that an election denier? You can run the best campaign. You can have the election stolen from you. But either Bill Maher doesn't know that or he refuses to acknowledge it because he keeps saying everything is a false equivalency. Okay, so he's locked in his silo. He's not going to pay attention to facts. He's unaware of the facts. It gets worse. Listen to him talking about January 6th.
It was never an attack on the Capitol.
Oh, I hear you. But he's not going to show up at the inauguration.
Like they didn't show up at the Capitol and break windows and knock down doors and kill cops and chase.
They didn't do that.
And they didn't break windows,
they didn't kill cops.
They of course did.
No, they didn't.
Who did? They died of natural causes that day?
Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, the medical examiner, has determined that he suffered 2 strokes and died of natural causes.
Yeah, nobody died that day.
Cops?
No, not true. Who?
Okay.
Who?
Oh, I don't remember the names.
They didn't. There was Brian Sicknick, who died later after the fact.
She's informed he's not. They killed cops. She says, no, they didn't. He laughs. He laughs because he is that clueless about facts of the case that, again, housewives and retired military people who I talk to who are, trying to get new flooring, they know the facts. This guy has a national platform and he doesn't know the facts. And I always say, why do people lie to you? Why do people lie to you? They lie to you because they know they don't have the truth on their side. Because no one would choose to argue from a position that is untrue if they had the truth on their side. Hillary Clinton, what are you talking about? She came out the night of the election. Well, she came out the night of the election because there was no Democratic movement to stuff ballot boxes and all that. There was no mysterious water leak in Atlanta. Trump had reason to say, plus there wasn't a clear delineation that night that he had actually lost.
One, partly sunny, looks like a very nice day.
But I do think there's a difference between
9 FM, the answer.
All that he or she can be, but you are dissatisfied with it.
Interesting audio, eh? I think so.
It's tuition free for everyone. For more information on how to enroll your child or to register for a parent info event, visit DublinClassical.com today. That's DublinClassical.com. Part of Ohio, tuition free, where students learn how to think. DublinClassical.com.
This summer, join with believers nationwide for the Million Souls campaign to bring your unsaved family and friends to watch the new movie, The Firing Squad, the true story about prisoners who find faith in the face of execution and transform their prison in the process. At the movie's conclusion, co-star Kevin Sorbo comes on screen to lead the entire theater in a prayer of commitment to Jesus. Go to FiringSquadFilm.com and learn how you can receive free tickets and more. That's FiringSquadFilm.com.
Hi, Mike Gallagher here. Let me tell you about my friends at Innovative Roofing Systems. They're the finest, most trustworthy installers in Central Ohio. If you need a roof inspection, it's free. If you install a new roof or siding and mention Mike and this ad, you get a $1,000 discount on your residential project. Innovative Roofing Systems. Schedule your appointment today. 614-324-9797. 614-324-9797 or go to innovativeroofingsystems.com.
This is an urgent announcement for anyone that's $10,000 or more in debt. Before you make another minimum payment, you need to know there are special programs that can completely free you of your debt. Total Financial Freedom can help you become debt-free in months instead of years. Resolve your credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and timeshares. Call now at 800-533-6605 for a free consultation. For 17 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands get out of debt. You can feel confident when calling because Total Financial Freedom is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and a Christian-owned company.
Feel like politics, smell like politics? It is. A Washington Examiner op-ed titled "The Schumer Border Security Farce," arguing, what is this legislative theater for? Why waste the Senate's time? It is being done simply because Schumer wants to stay majority leader and believes the vote can help him. All of that is a quote. Republicans say the move is about one thing.
This is Albert Mohler for townhall.com. Many of you will remember about a year ago when Target began pushing LGBTQ merchandise in anticipation of last year's June Pride Month. What they were selling was offensive and became a matter of controversy. This year, Target is having to retreat a bit. The recent headline in USA Today was that Target scaled back its Pride Month collection in stores. But no, Target is making a marketing point here, not a moral point. They paid a price in 2023. But Target remains intent on bulldozing through the moral code of Western civilization. When you're pushing moral change, once you transgress a boundary, you take, say, 2 or 3 yards, you retreat a yard, and then you press forward again 2 or 3 yards, you retreat a yard. This is the way the moral revolutionaries press their agenda. It looks like they're backing up, but they're only doing so in order to press forward. It's one of the reasons that conservatives, and in this case Christians, often come out on the losing end of this kind of headline. Don't be fooled.
Hey, you heard from a lot of companies that would like to sell you quality beef, right? Good Ranchers, Omaha Steaks, Moink, and others. None of them offer you the option of a bundle every other month. All of them insist on every month or a one-time order. Wouldn't it be nice if you as a single person could get, say, 4-8 steaks, last you 2 months, then your next shipment would arrive. RiverbendRanchSteaks.com/Bruce Hooley offers you that option. You can also order every month and you can load up. And here's the great part about Riverbend Ranch Steaks. When you buy a bundle, you can also then add on like more New York strips, like more filet mignons, like more red ribeyes. You can do that. Now, I said it's the best thing. Really, the best thing is that it's no hormones, no antibiotics ever. All grown on one ranch, all certified USDA Choice and Prime. And again, back to the original, the lowest prices ever of any meat buying service. The best, the lowest prices. What's not to love? Find out more. RiverbendRanchSteaks.com/Bruce Hooley. So interesting, isn't it? Bill Maher arguing with Megyn Kelly yesterday, or having a discussion. I like the discussion. I like the fact that Bill Maher will sit for it. I like that Megyn Kelly had him on. Megyn Kelly says she's voting for Trump. Maher says, oh, I can't even identify with somebody who'd vote for Trump. And Maher's entire argument is that Trump will not give up power. Isn't Joe Biden the president? For Joe Biden to be the president, wouldn't that have necessitated Donald Trump giving up the presidency? But facts don't matter. And you know facts don't matter because Bill Maher denied that Hillary Clinton ever called Donald Trump illegitimate. What did she say? Tell me what she said. She said that. And then she played the tape for him. Well, okay. Well, it's a false equivalency. Okay, whatever. And then he's like, oh, the Capitol riot, it's indicative of Trump. They killed cops. And she goes, they didn't kill cops. No cops died. Yes, they did. You're so wrong. And he's absolutely 100% sure that Donald Trump will not recognize the result of an election. And what Trump has said is, well, if it's a free and fair election, I will. Which the last one, and this is a debatable point that Megyn Kelly and Bill Maher can have arguments about, and you and I can have arguments about if you're a Democrat. There was so much funny business going on. Mail-in ballots. You can dismiss 2,000 Mules. At the very least, 2,000 Mules, the movie, shows some highly suspicious activity. Pennsylvania counting ballots that came in after the deadline. Here's a little clip from yesterday. They were having a hearing in Arizona. Here's one of the poll workers in Arizona talking about what went on in the 2020 election in Arizona.
I observed with my Democratic partner the preparation of a new ballot since the original one was soiled or wouldn't go through the tabulators. I read her a Trump Republican ballot, and as soon as she entered it into the system, the ballot defaulted on the screen to a Biden Democratic ballot. We reported this to the supervisors, and others in the room commented that they had witnessed the same manipulation. We were never told what, if any, corrective action was taken. All I know is the next day I was called outside the room that I was working in signature verification by the supervisor saying, I understand you caused some problems this week and saying that you thought our machines were not working correctly. And I was being the one that was scolded. And I was told at that point in time, I could not discuss anything or talk about what was going on, as many people were threatened.
Now, you can say she's crazy, and that's your prerogative to say that. But when you have a situation where she has questions, and there are questions in Michigan, and they're suspicious like paper going up on the walls so people can't observe them counting ballots, and the water leak in Atlanta, and the ballots being counted after they came in Pennsylvania, at least we can have, or should be able to have, a fair discussion about, was the election actually free and fair? Not to Bill Maher. And I haven't even gotten to the number one thing that influenced the election, the Hunter Biden laptop suppression story, which Megyn Kelly tries to raise with Bill Maher. And again, he's not having it.
But I do think there's a difference between it was stolen, you know, the nonsense with Dominion voting machines and all that, versus it wasn't fair. And
what
you know,
wasn't fair? The election.
Don't get me started. But what wasn't fair?
Okay. Well, the
how
election.
About the suppression of the Hunter Biden laptop story? Just for one.
Really? Oh, then we're not as alike as you think. That's
okay.
That's a stupid non-story. I mean, yes.
Says who? There are polls that show some 10 to 12% of the electorate says they would have changed their mind had they seen it, had they known about it.
It wasn't right. It wasn't right to suppress it, but nobody gives a about Hunter Biden's dick.
Nobody. You're talking about yourself. I'm telling you, there are data to show people did care. They said they would have changed their vote.
Nobody who was going to vote for Trump anyway, or Biden anyway. I mean,
it wasn't about Hunter Biden's man parts. It was about the scandal of his corruption and his dad's corruption. Bill, I used to think that Hunter Biden was a hot mess and Joe Biden was embarrassed by him but had to deal. Now I really think he was doing Joe Biden's bidding. Joe Biden is the bad guy who sent his drug-addled son out there to collect money. That's what the laptop shows.
And that's more important than what I was bringing up about not abiding by election results. you're obviously someone who looks at an elephant and a mouse and cannot tell which one is bigger.
I disagree.
I know. This is just typical right-wing talking points. The evil Hunter Biden and the evil Joe Biden. And look, do I like them? No, I don't particularly like them. I think they're very flawed.
Listen.
It's not nearly on the scale.
You're misstating my argument. You're misstating my argument.
So it's a stupid non-story and a right-wing talking point that Hunter Biden is going around the globe picking up bags of cash from China and Russia. But it was not a stupid non-story, even though it was later exposed as one after 2 years of the Russia collusion hoax. Which is more dangerous to the Union? A president, Donald Trump, who calls Volodymyr Zelensky and says, hey, you know, I'm suspicious of Hunter Biden and the influence here, and you guys ought to look into this. Or a President Joe Biden whose policies toward China, toward Iran, toward Russia have certainly raised legitimate questions about whether he is crafting policy to keep them from disclosing secrets they might have, plausibly could have, about all the money, all the millions they paid the Biden family for influence. She didn't raise that with Bill Maher, and you know if I raised it or you raised it, he wouldn't hear it. Oh, the evil Hunter Biden. Blah, blah, blah. They don't, look, you can't have a conversation with somebody who won't listen to and evaluate your positions and things that are factual. She tries, though, with Hunter Biden.
Hunter Biden just now on the laptop was brought up as evidence of how the election was not fair. He's not a reason necessarily to not vote for Joe Biden. The reason not to vote for Joe Biden is his policies. You're not woke. He's as woke, or at least his policies are, as they come. The open border bill. How could anybody vote for somebody who keeps this border open with the number of rapes and the number of murders and the numbers of crimes going on with these immigrants?
But again, these are the normal sorts of issues we've always had in this country that should be taken care of through the normal process we've had. You're talking about the difference between I'm talking about the difference between this and something fundamental, which is our democracy. The fact that you have to respect who wins an election, or else you don't have the kind of country we've always had before.
So he wants you to vote for Joe Biden because Joe Biden endorses the system that we have. But Bill Maher doesn't appear to trust the system that we have to deal with someone who he believes is going to try to contravene that system. And if you accept his premise, which I don't, but if you accept his premise that Donald Trump is a power-hungry madman, doesn't the fact that Donald Trump left office and Joe Biden took office show Bill Maher that our system worked the last time it was supposedly under such dramatic threat? And why would it not work again? He uses the threat to the system as a reason for you not to vote for Trump, when the system held up, if he's right, and he's not, but if he's right, about the threat Trump poses.
It is not a law firm.
Are you a victim of the timeshare trap and think there's no way out? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, the original timeshare cancellation expert. And I'm here to tell you
my head
there
explode.
is a way out. We've helped over 30,000.
Now, in the next hour, which you can watch live at the Hooley Show, Bruce Hooley Show on Facebook, Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page, or 989 The Answer Facebook page, you will hear a cut from the Pope's interview on 60 Minutes on Sunday night. And I have more on why Joe Biden is losing support among the Black community. And of course, we'll talk about his latest student loan boondoggle unconstitutional action, which, by the way, that Bill Maher has no problem with that, with him like blatantly counteracting the Supreme Court. So hope you tune in for that. Yes, sir.
So Megyn Kelly should come back with